Hey, what's up? My name is Nelson.
And my name is Michael.
And today, we are going to be going through our top 10 favorite movies of 2021.
Let's get eat, my boy.
Alright, we are going to start out with two honorable mentions.
My first honorable mention would be Fatherhood, starring Kevin Hart. Beautiful film, and it follows the story of a father whose wife passes away giving birth. It's just beautiful. That's all I have to say.
It was a really good one. My first honorable mention is Pig, starring Nicolas Cage. I talked about this when I first started my channel, when I did my top 10 movies of the year and so far. And yeah, it's really good, and it really surprised me. I didn't see it coming. You haven't seen it yet. I have it on Blu-ray, so we gotta watch it. But yeah, I bought it as soon as it came out on the Blu-ray. This movie, it's just, I recommend just watching it. It's, it's weird, it's a pig and Nicolas Cage, and you just think it's gonna be this weird movie, but it ended up being just such a beautiful movie with just such a great story. It's very emotional. Just a beautiful story about a man and his pig.
So my second honorable mention would be Demon Slayer Mugen Train. Phenomenal animation, and the story is one of the best stories I've ever seen come out of an anime movie, other than Spirited Away.
Yeah, well said. My second honorable mention is Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. This was one of the best origin stories out of a superhero I've ever seen in my entire life. I mean, it's up to par there. I mean, it's up to par with Iron Man, and just different origin stories like that. It's arguably better than a lot of origin stories. It's better than Thor's origin story. Mm-hmm. It's better than Captain America's origin story for me. Just was a big surprise because I don't know this character that well. So it really told me who this character was, and I fell in love with this character, Shang-Chi, and so quickly. And they did just such a good job.
Yeah, I never heard about Shang-Chi until the movie came out.
Yeah, just so good.
All right, so we're going to get into our top 10 tier list. I'll go first. My number 10 movie of the year was Bo Burnham's Inside. It was supposed to be a comedy special for Netflix, but because of COVID, he wasn't able to go anywhere to do the show. So instead, he decided to make a movie about his time in quarantine. And it goes over how many months?
It goes over a whole year.
It's a whole
12
year.
months.
And you see his hair growing, his beard growing. You see him get more and more depressed. And he makes it comical, but it's also a very sad movie at the exact same time. And it's something definitely worth watching, especially if you live through COVID.
Coming in at number 10 for me is Dune, directed by Denis Villeneuve. This movie, I was excited for it because I love, Timothée Chalamet, and I love a lot of the actors in the movie, so I was excited. I had never seen the old one from the, I think, 80s.
I never even heard of it.
Yeah, I've never seen it. It's based on a book. It's a book. So I wasn't too sure. I knew that George Lucas made Star Wars from kind of creating it from Dune, the book Dune. So, I mean, that was exciting, but this cast was amazing, and this is the most beautiful movie visually I've ever seen in my entire life. I mean, it's just, the CGI is perfect. It's such a great story. It was hard for me to get over the fact that it kind of, because it is a two-parter, kind of just ends weird, right? It just kind of ends. I mean, yep. It's like in between this fight, and that I was like, I gotta get over it. There's gonna be a second one. If there was a part one, this could be one of my favorite movies of all time. But
so going into number 9 for me, we have Free Guy, starring Ryan Reynolds. It's a story about an NPC, which is a non-player character, in a video game. And he ends up getting a pair of sunglasses, which is what all the video game, the gamers wear, their characters wear, which makes them a character and not an NPC. And he starts to be able to see things, and he gets a consciousness. And him and the main female of the story, I would say the supporting protagonist, basically fall in love, and she continues to play the video game, and just a whole bunch of stuff happens. I'm not going to spoil it in case anybody hasn't seen it yet, but it's a beautiful movie. I've enjoyed it just because I have grown up loving video games.
I don't play a lot of video games.
It's not in his top 10, but he still enjoyed the movie.
No, I enjoyed it. 75%.
Yeah. It's a really good movie. I enjoyed it.
Coming in at number 9 is Spencer, starring Kristen Stewart. This movie It completely blew me away. It was something that I just kind of like saw late. Was like, yeah, I want to catch that because I really love Kristen Stewart. Me and you went and saw it. Mm-hmm. And it's such a sad story about Princess Diana, and it just what she went through with her family. If it's completely accurate, it's just so messed up. I have a full review on the channel, but it was so sad for me. There was times I wanted to leave the theater, and I just was like, and you know, I kept myself. There's something that kept me there, but there was times I just wanted to get up and walk away just because it was hard to watch.
It's probably one of Kristen Stewart's best performances too.
It is her best performance of her career, and if she doesn't win Best Actress this year, I mean, there's a big problem there because she is just so amazing in this movie.
If she's at least not nominated, I'm gonna be pissed.
Yeah, she has to be nominated.
She has to be nominated.
Yeah, at least.
All right, so number 8 for me would be Spencer. It was just one higher for me because I thought it was better than Free Guy. But yeah, same thing. Beautiful acting. Story was beautiful. Wanted to leave the theater at times.
Coming in at number 8 is King Richard, starring Will Smith. This movie is such a heartwarming movie. It's a story about Venus Williams and Serena Williams' father. He's like, they produced the movie, so it was like a love story to their parents. And it was just, it's such a sad story at times. Such a heartwarming story. I love this family with all of my heart. I mean, I'm so glad that I went and saw this on the big screen. I could have watched it on HBO Max, and I'm so glad that I decided to go see it in theaters because it was just such a beautiful and just a cinematic experience. And just seeing Will Smith it just blew my mind. It's one of his greatest performances, and I think that him or Andrew Garfield for Tick, Tick, Boom should win Best Actor. But I honestly think Will Smith has got this. I mean, he's got it in the bag. If he doesn't get Best Actor, I mean, there's something very wrong with the Academy.
Yeah, they'll definitely both be nominated at least.
Yeah. Sure.
Number 7 for me is A Quiet Place Part 2. I love the movie. Not as good as the first one, but Close. The directing was phenomenal. John Krasinski. Why is he even an actor? Like, he's a great actor, but directing, oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
He did the movie. The movie is not better than the first one, but it's directed better. If that makes any sense.
Yeah. And the story follows his daughter, and it's just beautiful. Beautiful. How she fights back against the aliens using her hearing aids that her father built for her. The movie is just so good, man. So good.
That's really good. Coming in at number 7 for me is The Green Knight. This was visually just stunning in the first place. I mean, it was just such a beautiful looking movie. All the landscapes and how they didn't shoot it on green screen. And when they did use CGI, there's these giants in the movie. You remember, there's these giants in the movie, and they look so realistic. So the CGI was done so well for the little that they used. It wanted. I thought it would be a bit more action filled, but the dialogue just kept me going, and just the journey. It's this beautiful character piece for, you know, King Arthur's nephew.
Yeah.
And it's starring Dev Patel, and he is like pretty much a newcomer. And he just came into this movie. I didn't really know much about him, and he was just he just tore it up. He did so well. And it's directed by David Lowery, and he is A Ghost Story. It was his first one that I ever saw, and that movie blew me away. So I was very excited to see this when I did see it, and I really feel like this movie really kept him going for, you know, what he had going with the first movie that he did. And just like I said, visually one of the best looking movies I've seen all year.
So coming in for me at number 6 is Halloween Kills. The newest Michael Myers movie. Critics can say whatever they want, but they're wrong. Critics were wrong. They were like, not enough killing, or no, not enough story, too much killing.
Yeah,
but
I heard. Yeah.
It's a lot of killing and a little bit of story. The only thing that sucks about the movie is they kept repeating the same line over and over. Evil dies tonight. Evil dies tonight. I don't care. I really don't.
Yeah, it was bad.
Just let me watch Michael Myers do what he does.
Yeah.
Right? I love watching people die.
The social commentary in the movie. I get he wants you to know what he thinks about society, the director. But
yeah, I'm a little biased with this because Michael Myers is my favorite slasher, but
he's one of my favorites, second favorite.
It's a good movie, but the dialogue wasn't the best.
No, it was a good movie. I don't be ashamed. It was a good ass movie.
Definitely something worth the watch.
Oh yeah, for sure, a lot of fun.
Yeah,
there's literally just one piece of that movie that kept it from being amazing for me. To be honest, it's just that social commentary with that guy. It's just I get it. Yeah, what happens with society? I get it. You know, and what humans do in tragedy. I understand.
Go crazy.
I understand what he was trying to get at, but that whole scene was just completely unnecessary.
Yeah, if they'd taken that out of the movie, it would have been 100%.
Oh, it would have been. It'd have been. I mean, I gave it like a 73%. It would have been at least in the upper 80s for me if they'd have just taken that part out. Coming in at number 6 is Demon Slayer Mugen Train. He has said quite a bit about it already, but yes, this movie, he's right. This movie, visually, for an anime movie, is amazing. And it is the same as he said. It is the best animated movie I have seen since Spirited Away. 100%, it's a perfect movie. And I love those characters. You know, I love those characters. And if you haven't seen the show's amazing.
So coming in number 5 for me is Last Night in Soho, starring Thomasin McKenzie and Anya Taylor-Joy. Anyways, it's a story. It follows a girl. She goes to sleep. She lives this other woman's life. Turns out it's 2 realities clashing together. Movie's beautiful.
I love that movie to be in my... There's just so many good movies this year. I absolutely loved that movie.
Oh, yeah.
So much. And it gets better in my head. It's so hard with so many movies
on a top
this year.
10. I've only seen 62 movies. He's seen 250.
Yeah, 250. Yeah, about 250. But yeah, it was hard. Like, I like that. And, that and Tick, Tick, Boom, I would love to have been in my top 10, but they just didn't make it in my top 10. And I still love those movies so much. Coming in at number 5 is A Quiet Place Part 2. Sucks that he's talking about some of these before I get to them, but yeah, John Krasinski kills it. I love the beginning, how it shows it from the beginning. Yeah. I actually, when I little story time, when I bought the Blu-ray, for Quiet Place Part 2, you know, the day it came out, because I absolutely loved it. I actually started Quiet Place Part 2 in the beginning, took it out, and I put Quiet Place in. Then I watched all the way through Quiet Place, then I put Quiet Place Part 2. That was actually a really, really cool way to watch it.
Yeah, the beginning Quiet Place Part 2 is the beginning before everything happens. Yeah. You see what happens. And then, you know, if you just switch it, it transitions to what has happened, you know, months later. And then after that movie, you put in Quiet Place Part 2. It's right at the end of Part 1, so it's just a beautiful thing to do. And the story for both of them, it's just a beautiful story. It's a family in tragedy. That's the whole point of both of the movies.
Yeah, so it works, but and I do love that it follows the character that Millicent Simmons plays too. It'd be the daughter in the movie. I really did love that they followed her. That she was the biggest standout of the entire movie.
Oh yeah,
big time.
Oh yeah. All right, so coming in at number 4 for me is King Richard. So he already talked about it, but like he said, Will Smith, amazing acting. I love how he did the lisp. He's just a very talented actor.
Yeah, he took that character on.
Extremely talented. He studies every single role that he is given to the maximum and performs them with perfection. Will Smith has been one of my favorite actors as long as I've been alive.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Absolutely.
And I'm 27 years old. Coming in at number 4 for me is The Suicide Squad, directed by James Gunn. This movie was, I think, the most fun I've had all year in the theater.
Oh, yeah.
It was so much fun. I love the rated R. You know, how it's the R rating for this. Because it's just so bloody and all that. And I love all of the characters. I mean, even the ones that you hate, you know. I love them. Peacemaker. I hate him. I cannot wait for his show. That's coming out on HBO Max.
Thanks.
But Margot Robbie, her best performance is Harley Quinn for me. I loved Idris Elba in this.
Oh, yeah.
I loved everybody in this. I'm not going to say everybody, but I loved all of the casting choices. James Gunn just took this and made it so much better than Suicide Squad, and it blew me away. You know, I mean, they even brought in Starro. Starro is just a weird giant star, and that
It's a weird villain to have.
Yeah, it's a weird villain to have in a movie, and it super worked. I mean, it's just, it really, really, really worked. And it's one of the best comic book movies I've seen all year.
So coming in at number 3 for me would be Tick, Tick, Boom, starring Andrew Garfield. The reason why this movie is so high for me is because I have a personal connection with the main character. Because I didn't really chase my dream of going into theater and stuff like that, whereas he did. And it shows me what I could have been, or like at least possibilities that I could have had if I were to just follow my dreams. But
it's not even just that too. It's everything. It's like even for like me trying to be a YouTuber and stuff.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the premises of
watching that. Watching that made me just be like, I may not have very much subscribers, but I was like, I gotta keep pushing on. That's what he did. You know. And
other than Hacksaw Ridge, and obviously. That was Andrew Garfield's best performance.
Yeah, I mean,
other than Hacksaw Ridge,
either Hacksaw Ridge or that, but
that was just beautiful. The way he's able to make a character himself, and he makes you believe that everything he's doing isn't acting.
Arguably the best actor working today.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He's my favorite actor of today's generation.
Yeah.
Will Smith is my favorite actor of the previous generation.
Right.
Patrick Swayze. Those are my 3 favorite actors. Not gonna lie. Idris Elba's up there.
With me, it's like Ryan Gosling, Andrew Garfield, and Will Smith right now are some of my favorite actors. Yeah. And I would say now Tom Holland.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
His performance, we'll get there.
Beautiful actor. Oh my god, he's so good.
Yeah. Coming in at number 3 for me is Bo Burnham's Inside. This movie, he said a lot about it already. This movie, it really hit me a lot. And it opened my eyes to a lot of things that were going on, on the internet, with the world. I felt his pain. If you were in quarantine, you felt his pain. So that movie really, really did touch me. And Bo Burnham, I have so much respect for the guy, being able to take this and, not being able to be on stage and having to do it at his house and kind of going crazy over it. Really, he really killed it, and that's why it's my 3rd favorite movie of the entire year.
All right, so coming in at number 2 for me is Come On, Come On. Beautiful movie. It is black and white. It stars Joaquin Phoenix. Never really know how to pronounce his name correctly, but I'm pretty sure that's close. It's not Walking. Joaquin Phoenix. It's like a French name, but it's so cool.
Coming in at number 2 for me is Spider-Man No Way Home.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. We're going to talk about spoilers.
Given.
Yep, nothing. But this movie, we all knew what was going to happen. We knew, I knew all the villains were coming in, and getting Alfred Molina back as Doc Ock and Willem Dafoe as Green Goblin back as their villainous roles, and just having them back was so awesome. And like us being in the theater and the eruption in the theater was amazing. And with those 2 villains too, Doc Ock has always been my favorite villain for the movies, at least. Always has been. That Spider-Man 2 is one of my favorite movies of all time. And it's just, honestly, after this movie, Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin is my favorite Spider-Man villain for the movies. After this movie, it just really, he took this, and he just, every time he was in the room, he just stole the show.
Oh yeah, he captivated the whole audience.
You've seen him walk in the room, and that part where he goes back to being Green Goblin, and he's like, "Ha, just me," And it's just, oh man, he's so terrifying in this. For one, I mean, he's just terrifying, and he definitely became my favorite Spider-Man villain after that. I still love Alfred Molina. He killed it in the role too. I'm not just gonna sit here and gush over Willem Dafoe, but Alfred Molina was awesome. He really they both just came into this, and it was like, they're back in it again.
Oh yeah.
And so it really got me. Even with Jamie Foxx too, coming back as Electro. Yeah. 10 times better.
I'm glad they gave him hair.
Yeah. I'm glad he's not bald. But
in the beginning he was like, I got my body back.
Yeah. The other villains were a bit, Sandman and
They were the usual.
Yeah, Lizard. It was just like the Lizard was so much better in Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And Sandman was the best part about Spider-Man 3 for me. But it was kind of weird seeing them like that, but it worked out because it was just, you can't have Alfred Molina and Willem Dafoe in a movie and not, Then, you got Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield in it. And it was awesome. I mean, it brought tears to my eyes just seeing them come back. I mean, and just seeing, Tobey Maguire back, he's my hero. Those movies, Sam Raimi, Tobey Maguire movies, they really, really got me through my childhood and, saved my childhood. You know what I mean? And that's why I have such a connection with Tobey. But there's Andrew Garfield, man. He arguably stole the show, and just his emotional beats in this movie, and when he talked about Gwen, because Aunt May died, and when he talks, he's telling Peter about Gwen dying and stuff. That was just he just completely killed it, and I would love to see him back in the role and I would love to see Amazing Spider-Man 3. I would really love that to happen. And but they all worked together real well. Once they all got it together, the fighting at the end was amazing. And when they all swang together and I heard Toby scream, whoa! I was just like, I am a little boy again, and it brought tears to my eyes. But yeah, the ending of that movie, though, and the decision that Peter has to make, it really, really got me. And
everybody hates the ending.
Yeah, I don't hate the ending. It's a perfect ending. It's a perfect origin story for Tom Holland.
Yep, I get it sucks. It sucks for Peter.
It sucks, man.
It sucks for Peter. And
it
sucks for everyone else.
He just
beautiful ending. Perfect.
It is. It doesn't get any better than this. It's a perfect ending to this trilogy, and the trilogy making it a complete origin story for Peter. And just having Aunt May die, that was MCU's Uncle Ben.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
It tore me apart, but I absolutely love the ending, and I just can't wait to see what we have left in that suit at the end. It was amazing.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to see the new suit in action, dude. It's gonna be sick.
All right, what's your number one?
All right, well, my number one is Spider-Man No Way Home. Basically, he already touched on everything I was gonna talk about, but so basically in the Amazing Spider-Man 2, Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man fails to catch Gwen in time, and she unfortunately smacks her head off of the concrete at the bottom of the clock tower.
Or snaps her neck,
whatever it is.
Who knows?
Sad. It looks like her head hits, but it also could just be a long hair, and you hear the snap.
Yep.
Whatever. It sucks. Andrew Garfield wasn't able to catch her in time.
Best part of the whole movie, though.
In the movie, Tom Holland's MJ falls. Instead of going for the web like he did last time, he focused more on the lunge so that he could catch her before shooting his web. When he catches her...
After Tom couldn't get to her.
Yeah. Because Tom gets pulled out of the web by some machine.
Green Goblin.
Green Goblin's thing. So he lunges down, he catches her, shoots his web, gets them to the ground safely. He asks if she's okay, and she says, yes, I'm sorry, I'm choking up. This is so sad.
Yeah, dude, it is.
And he doesn't say anything. He looks at her and starts bawling because he wasn't able to catch Gwen, but he could save Tom's MJ. Beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful.
And perfect.
Perfect. His acting is so phenomenal. I believed that he was someone in pain and that he was having tears of joy in that moment because he was finally able to save someone else's MJ. It's beautiful. And in the end of the movie, because Green Goblin kills Aunt May, he goes, I only struck the blow, Peter. But you killed her. And then Peter basically goes, psh, psh, psh. The rage, because we were sitting in, what were the name of the seats? The
D-box seats.
We were sitting in D-box seats. Those are the ones that move with the movie. You could feel the punches. You could feel him swinging and shit throughout the movie. Every time he landed a punch, it was poof, poof, poof. And you could see the rage and anger on Tom Holland's face. And talk about an amazing actor at such a young age. Like, he's been good since he started as Spider-Man, but this was his best performance yet.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God, he was so good. Oh, my God, he was...
Yeah.
He's the ultimate Spider-Man.
He is.
He's the ultimate Spider-Man.
I do like Tobey better.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
I like Tobey better. I somewhat like some things Andrew Garfield does better, especially with the Spider-Man parts.
Yeah. Andrew Garfield does the whole quippiness thing just as good as the comic book Spider-Man.
Which Tobey Maguire did it really well in this one.
Yeah, his quippiness is way better with the writing.
Yeah, but Tom Holland is the best Spider-Man.
Yeah.
We have never gotten a better origin story.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it. It didn't take 30 minutes like it did in Andrew's and Toby's.
Yeah, it was 3 whole movies. 2 hours to 3 hours long each. Easy.
Yeah, it was just, he is the greatest Spider-Man, in my opinion. And it's just, he's not my favorite.
Absolutely.
Coming in at number 1 for me is Come On, Come On, starring Joaquin Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
And this movie, it just really, really touched me because in the movie he kind of, something happens. I don't want to get into too much spoilers for this one, but something happens and he has to go watch his nephew that he hasn't seen for years. And while his sister goes and does something else because she has to go tend to something, he comes in and he takes on this kind of like friend / like father figure type deal with this boy. And he doesn't really have his dad in his life, so he kind of latches onto him, and it's just like this like friendship that builds throughout the movie. And it's just such a beautiful movie. It's all in black and white, and it just looks very, very beautiful, as he said. And it just really blew me away, and it really touched me a lot. Touched me because my little cousin, I have been spending time with my little cousin for years and years and years, and it kind of, just remember when I was younger, and like there's a scene in the movie where he takes off.
Oh yeah.
And he can't find him, and I was like, I can remember I would, be trusted by my aunt to take my cousin to, the mall or something, and his little ass would just run away, and I'd be like, I don't know where he's at.
I'm tired of this fucking panic song. I don't stand alone. I just want to.
I don't have kids personally, but I felt I felt how he felt there. Like, oh, this isn't my kid, and I lost him. I'm freaking out, and that that really, really touched me. And there is an interview process throughout the movie, and they actually took kids and interviewed them. And they basically just ask them simple questions like, "Are you happy?" And it's just such a sad thing to hear what some of these kids around the world. It's really, really heartbreaking to hear what some of these kids think about life and stuff. Like this one kid, I'm gonna have a really hard time not crying. This one kid, they asked him, "What do you think happens when you die?" And he says, "Well, because he lives in New Orleans, just a very, really rowdy, good part of the town, and he said, when I die, I just want to go lay under a tree and in the shade, and I just want it to be quiet." And I was just like, that's so heartbreaking that there are actually children in America thinking that way, and he's like, and I really hope that there is actually a God, because like it would suck, all the stuff I went through in my life. And that really, really, really hit me. And I really love the interviews in the movie, and just the touching story about the nephew and uncle. Just a really, really, really well-rounded film, and it just isn't getting enough credit. So please, please see this movie if you can.
It's definitely worth the watch.
It's worth the watch, and that's the only reason I like it better than Spider-Man. Spider-Man is amazing. Don't get me wrong. They're both already in my top 60 of all time.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a movie from 2021. Such a hard year we had last year with film.
Oh my god, but this year was amazing.
And this year
for
hit
movies.
for me. I had 2 movies from 2021 that are in my top 60
and that's
of all
his
time.
entire life. He's been alive for 28 years. People.
Yeah, almost, yeah.
Almost.
But
he's getting there. Almost. 27.
I'm 27.
And
Don't get
3/4.
me there. But yeah, please see this movie. It's A24 Studios. They're my favorite studio.
They make some really beautiful movies.
They just make really, really, really beautiful movies. And a lot of their movies sometimes are not looked at. And I know that this movie is not being looked at the Golden Globes. It's not getting nominated for anything.
Makes no sense.
It makes 0 sense. I saw the nominees for the Golden Globes, and I'm just like, where is Come On, Come On? Where is Joaquin Phoenix for Best Actor? I'm like, what is happening? It's not with the critics' choice or the Golden Globe. And it breaks my heart, because this movie just, for one, it means so much to me. And it's just really sad that it's not. And please see this movie as soon as you possibly can. All right, thank you for doing this with me, man.
Yes, sir.
It was a lot of fun. This was a great year for cinema And I got to go to the movies so much this year, and just such a crappy year last year we had. And it's so exciting to sit here and be able to talk about all of these films that I got to see. But if you like what I'm doing on this channel, like and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at Nelson Reviews. Follow me on Letterboxd at Nelson48.
Follow me on Instagram at Michael Raven T, all lowercase, and follow me on Letterboxd at Shigokai. I'll put that on the screen.
Peace out.